Okay, hello, my name is Elena, and today I'm going to be talking about Lincoln Land's property up near Petersburg. And I'm going to be talking about how and why we should be converting that back into native prairie. So, to start off, here's the land in question. It's just a plain alfalfa field with some grass running along the side, a road along the east, and some trees along the edge. Now, this field has pretty much given us everything it has. Its only purpose is to grow alfalfa. There's no gain from the animals around it because they can't live in this. They can't get food from this really, and it's not attracting any birds or bees or anything of that sort. It's just fulfilled its one job. And what we can do by converting it back into native prairie is really let it fulfill its potential. I mean, here you have hundreds of flowers in bloom that's going to attract bees and birds and house a habitat for a lot of native prairie species that have a hard time finding a home because we've converted so much of their habitat into agriculture or suburban areas. They have a hard time living, adapting to that. And just this small piece of land could bring a house to who knows how many species. But I'm going to start off this presentation by talking about the financial benefits because that's always on everyone's mind, and the original profits is about $5,000 per year. Now, that's if it gets billed twice every summer, and if alfalfa sales stay consistent. And that money also has to go back into the field the next year. You don't get to really keep a lot of that because you also have to pay for the farmer for all his work. But if we were to convert it into native prairie, once again, it can be admitted into the pollinator program, which is a program to help bring back more bees and not put so much stress on them because they're really hurting right now. And this program kind of reserves land to make sure it doesn't get touched by humans anymore because honestly, we've done enough. And this program pays about $250 per acre, and with the acreage about 16 that we're working with, it's going to be about $4,000 a year. Now, this money it's in your pocket. You don't have to put that back into the land because it's native prairie. It handles itself on its own, and that money can go into scholarships, into the school. It can do so much more good than this $5,000 from the original profits. And also, it brings up educational benefits. I mean, students in the following years will be implementing this proposal. You don't have to hire anybody in to actually do this job. It's going to be interested biology students who want to make a difference. And that draws in even more students to this college, which is another financial benefit, but a more educational benefit for students because they're getting hands on excuse me, restoration experience that, that's not always a guarantee at other colleges. And if this program is successful, then who knows, maybe we'll be working on another project down the line. And which leads to indirect benefits, which are benefits that help out the environment. And we're reestablishing a native biome that has almost been completely wiped out because of us. Prairie used to cover Illinois, and now you can hardly find an acre of natural prairie grass anywhere, which also this land will attract more pollinators, put less stress on the bees once again, help out the plants. I mean, who doesn't want to save these cute little bees? I mean, they've done no harm. They're just trying to uh, keep our plants healthy. And our only expense for this whole restoration project is going to be buying the flowers. You've got some that grow in the early season, mid season, late season to keep diversity up to make sure it's always looking beautiful. And I think it's okay to spend a few bucks on some flowers that are going to go back and help out so much more than they're worth. And I've broken this up into 5 steps, spanning over 10 years. I know 10 years can sound a little daunting, it could be kind of a long time, but I just wanted to make sure there was extra wiggle room in case anything were to come up, in case we have a really bad like drought or a flood, in case we have any setbacks, we have a little extra room to make sure this process goes down successfully. And we're going to actually convert it into two parts. We're going to start off with the west, about 6.13 acres over here. And then later on, we'll convert the rest, which is about 10.23 acres over here on the east. I wanted to start off with a smaller portion so we can really tweak the process if we need to. But the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to have to buy all our supplies, buy all the flowers needed, and grow a few to maturity so that we have a bit more diverse age range of plants we're putting in here so that there is a better success rate and not as many may die off if there's a wider range of them. And while we're doing that, the farmer's going to go ahead and remove the last of the alfalfa from this field, and there will be no more alfalfa ever again if I have anything to say with it. And he's gonna go ahead and continue with this portion just so there's a small profit still coming in so we're not losing as much. And there's no need to stop growing the alfalfa here if we're not ready to convert it yet. So when the alfalfa is gone, we're going to go ahead and plant the native grass in. I chose big blue stem because that was the most common one found in Illinois hundreds of years ago. And it's also the state grass of Illinois. So I figured that'd be good. Illinois proud section over here. And we can also enter it into the pollinator program in the first year. Now, and the revenue stream from that might not happen right away, so that's why I wanted to enter it in early so the process so they can process our application and everything, and we have some time, and also we're still getting profit from the alfalfa from the east side. So step 2, year 2, is when we get dirty, we start planting, remove any invasive species that may be there because they can do a lot of harm to the native plants that we'll be planting. We want to make sure that we take out the root system and everything, spray with glyphosate if we need to. We just want to make sure that they don't come back at all. And while this is all happening, the farmer is continuing to plant alfalfa in that 10.28 acres. We don't need it yet. We want to keep some revenue going. So that is year 2. Next, I can put step 3 and step 4 together because this can be kind of fluid years. It just depends on how the land is doing. We want to start off by observing the status of how the west 6.3 acres is doing. We want to make sure that it's prospering like we planned. We can add plants if we need to, or we can just leave it alone. It should be fine by now, but again, I wanted to give some room, 3 to 5 years. If it needs more time, needs more tending to, we can do that. But if all is good and everything's going smoothly, then the rest of the property, the 10.2 acres, gets the alfalfa taken out from the final time. And then we're going to repeat what we did in step 1, just with this area instead by planting that big blue stem grass. And we can also get some plant seeds from the original 6.13 acres instead of buying more, which is really handy. Which leads us over to step 4, year 6. Observe how the original west side of the property is doing, and now we can see how the east side is doing because right now it's been converted. We want to just make sure everything is growing nicely. Again, look out for those invasive species, and excuse me, just make sure that the land is doing okay. Nothing is obstructing it by any means, excuse me. And then finally, step 5, years 7 to 10, get some fluidity there. By this time, it should be done. We don't really need to do anything else. We just need to check on the property a couple times throughout the year to make sure, nobody is going in and chopping down trees or taking any flowers. We may even be seeing a lot more of these little guys, little monarch butterflies coming in, which is amazing. It means that we really impacted the environment. This small piece of land has made a huge impact on so many species, and so yeah, that's the whole process. I really encourage that we go through with this. It's barely any upfront cost, with lifetime worth of benefits for students, for the school. School will get great publicity. People are going to love knowing that our local community college took a big step in saving our environment. And I think that's great. So I hope this is seriously considered, and thank you.